The NeuroDADverse podcast is produced by Squid Shack Studios.
Hey, I'm Ben.
And I'm Dan.
We're both fathers,
We're both married.
and we're both raising kids with diagnosed neurodiverse conditions.
Parenting is tough, and we're not saying it's harder for us, just different.
And sometimes that different can be hard to explain.
That's why we've created the NeuroDADverse, a weekly show where we share our wins, our challenges, and all the neurosparkly and neurospicy bits in between.
Our hope is to create a safe space for parents to share their own highs and lows of neurodiverse parenting. And just to remind you of three things.
You're doing great,
You are enough.
and you're definitely not alone.
So welcome to the NeuroDADverse. Hello there. Welcome to the NeuroDADverse. It's the podcast for, about, and definitely by parents of neurodivergent children. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. If you can't remember, if you've listened to this before, don't worry. That's all acceptable here. We are two parents of some neurodivergent children, and we share our wins and challenges. My name's Ben, and this is Dan. Good evening, Dan. How are you?
Good evening, Ben. Yes, not too bad. The
Lovely
summer
stuff.
is slowly coming to an end.
Well, let's be clear, the summer holidays are coming to an end. I think we might have some nice weather for the rest of September. But yes, yeah. Good,
Yeah.
cool. Well, if you're crying out for why don't you start this podcast the way you normally start it, what are you doing with all the chat? We normally do it with our week in 3 words. So do you want to tell me what you've got for your 3 words, Dan?
So my week in 3 words this week for summer holidays week 5 is stroll, say, and show.
You're going alliterative. That's interesting. Stroll, I like a lot. Mine are just a brain dump of things that have happened, and we'll get into them. Outfits, acceptance, and needles.
Acceptance and needles. Okay.
Yeah, none of them. They don't all of them are about different things. I couldn't think of a movie of how this week went because it was undramatic, I would say. I
Okay.
mean, I think people who've interacted in my life this week would probably suggest different, but in terms of managing the neurodiversity, it's been relatively it's one of those weeks where I kind of want to maybe skip the challenge bit and just talk about the wins, because the wins are just much more fun. And I don't really think there's much more challenging, but I think it's important that when we do the podcast each week, we try to find some things that we found challenging, because it's important to acknowledge that just because we've found a way to get, better at managing some really challenging situations, it's always still nice to unpick them. And that's the long way around of just kind of asking you, did you have something challenging this week?
No, I intend to agree with you. I don't have anything particular challenging. I had a couple of moments where I'm like, this could be challenging, but then that would imply that they then turn into wins. So I must admit, despite a busy-ish week, I don't
Yeah.
have anything major apart from, yes, we're still not sleeping great, and it is cooler, but that's a win. Do you know what I mean? So still tired, still not sleeping great,
Yeah.
but nothing super challenging on top of that. So I'm happy just to spread cheer this episode if you want to.
Cool. Excuse me. We've been mainly at home, and I think the kid's I know it's too simplistic to break it up like this, but with one ADHD diagnosed and one autistic diagnosed, they experience the world in very different ways, and they like to sensory and dopamine seek in different ways. And Oscar has been largely, as I was saying the other day, not reclusive, that's not the right word, but like in their own space and in their own time, at home, not really leaving home. And kind of, I said last week, like sleeping when they want, which has been during the daytime, and then being awake in the evening. That's fine. And Mabel's been the opposite. It's like social butterfly, got to be out, got to be doing this, got to be doing that, got to be doing that. And I don't think that's necessarily that challenging, but maybe the challenge is I've just got better this summer at going, you tell me what you're doing. I'll ask some follow-up questions if you need it. Rather than, well, you don't forget you're doing that, so you can't do this. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I'm not expressing myself very well of an evening, but yeah, so there's been that. But so needing to adapt on the fly and not being annoyed if I've set something up and said, oh, we're going to go and do that today, but I hadn't written that down and put it in text and given written instructions for Mabes, for example. She, oh, well, I've organised something else with my friends now and I don't want to let them down. So that's fine. So yeah, a little bit like that. But and just trying not to, I mentioned this last week, trying not to think that the spectre of routine and the pressure of school is coming. So everybody needs to gear themselves up for that. Do you know what I mean? Just trying to let go of that and be like, no, we're in summer. Let's just be in summer. School transition will be challenging. Let's see how you deal with it. So yeah. Not too much challenging.
I had one.
Did I mention last week? Sorry, about Mabel's impulsive. I want to decorate my room decision.
You did mention that you were expecting a week.
Yeah, so that happened really quickly. So, and that's why I'm adapting on the fly. It wasn't great that I then had to take. I didn't have to. I chose, well, the next 2 days I'll just strip a load of wallpaper and, find some problems with that, as you're always doing some DIY in her room. Because my brain had gone, oh, cool, I've gotten some time to do some things for myself while she's out with her mates. But if I hadn't have done that, it would have been really challenging. She was like, well, so yeah, mustn't grumble, really. Sorry, you were going to say you had a bit of a challenge.
No, I had what I thought would be a day-defining moment, but we ended up saving it. So the probably, if I was having to be really picky here, trying to find the challenge, as I said, we both sound like we've won a week. So the big challenge in terms of what is actually been challenging is we hosted a play day and we were in the garden, and the children that were over decided to put the slide that we have so as close as you can to the trampoline, so that you physically had to lay completely flat to go under. And Frankie's been trying. Frankie likes this, and Frankie goes and puts the slide there and tries to copy them, but he gets stuck because he puts it a bit too close for him to fit, because they're a lot thinner than he is. Not saying that Frankie's fat, but obviously kids that are different sizes, that really, really skinny, and Frankie's a bit more bulky, and he just looks at us and goes, ah, and starts crying out for help. And I'm like, it's because it's too close, but he has to copy it exactly as they do. So
sure,
there hasn't been any chill out time in the garden because Frankie just wants to keep trying to replicate this particular play.
nice.
And yeah, when you're not sleeping as much and you get a bit tired, eventually I'm like, let's learn from this. Why can we please just a few inches further back, then you can enjoy the slide. But the moment where I did think it was going to be a big challenge was we had another swimming lesson booked for this week. And Amy was at work, so we were going to go pick Amy up. My mum was picking Amy up, bringing her back here. We was all going to go to swimming together. So about 10-15 minutes beforehand, I went upstairs and changed my shorts to my swim shorts, just because then I can get straight in. And that's what we've always done. I put the
nice
swimming
visual cue for Frankie as well, that this is happening.
Yeah, and then since the morning, we've had the swimming picture up on the table where he has his picture board. I texted Amy saying, yeah, we're all saying. Then she called me going, we've got the lesson's been cancelled because personal reasons for the instructor. Things happen. We wished all the best. And then I was like, I've got to try and get out of this. So I just walked upstairs, got unchanged, back into my shorts, took the swimming picture away, and then replaced it with a picture of Amy's work, because the idea was we were going to go swimming, then we are going to have lunch at Amy's work. Frankie walked into the kitchen, looked at me up and down, like, you've changed, looked over to the picture board, saw the swim wasn't there, looked back to me and just gave me a bit of a look, and I was like, oh, this doesn't look good.
We'll see how this goes.
And then a couple of minutes later, Amy turned up with my mum, and we said, it's okay, we're going to go on an adventure and go to mummy's work. And the win part of that was he eventually come around to us and we had a nice stroll, which was one of the 2 strolls we've had this week. But yeah, I thought that was going to be a much bigger deal than what it was, because that's been his favourite thing to do.
Just as a quick check, had he seen the social story sticker
for swimming? Yes.
Wow, mate, that's big.
Yeah, it was actually, and I'm bringing this up in the
processing is like, this has changed.
Yes, within like 5 minutes. But what was funny was when I put the picture of Amy's work up, he walked up to it, took it off. But he started to do this now. Sometimes he's like, "No, I don't want to do that." So he takes the picture off, puts it in the back.
Such good communication, man.
And I was like, great. So yeah, that was
Did
what
he
I
put
thought
anything
was
else on?
No, he just left it blank because he would basically, because he enjoys swimming so much, we've had to hide the swimming one. So that lives on top of the fridge, so he can't get to it. Slash doesn't know where it is. So he was probably looking for it down where the hell
smuggling. I'm smuggling a not too hidden win out of that.
But yes,
wants to tell, like, come on, Dan. The kid wants to tell you that he wants to go swimming.
Yeah, totally. So, but that was what I said.
He wants to tell you he wants to go swimming.
That I thought would be my biggest challenge of the week, but it did turn out to be a win. But I do have other wins to discuss.
So good.
But yeah, so definitely won the week. So do you want to? Do you want to?
I don't know. That's too early for a break, isn't it? Surely. I don't know.
Who cares? We can how about we alternate our wins? If we got a couple of wins each, we'll do a win each. We'll go for a break and then come back and share more wins and look forward to week 6. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds good. So I'll just say that excuse me, one of the things that has been nice and a win for me really is Oscar's showing the tiniest shred of independence, and it's going to seem like, well, what does that matter? Maybe to a lot of people, but
no, hit me.
They've been coming down and getting their pots of like strawberries and mini sausages and drink from the fridge, because they had told us that they didn't really like being, they didn't use this word, but badgered, like asked, "Are you okay? Do you want some food? Do you want some food? Do you want some food?" Because they're in their room for a lot of the time. And there's some interactions, you hear them come out, they go to the toilet, that sort of stuff. They're not necessarily great at making their own new food needs met, or making them clear. So we've been moving to text a little bit and saying, there are these things in the fridge, please come down and get them when you want.
Nice.
Which has had no response. But it has been happening.
That's awesome.
They've been coming down, and when those things are finished, they have them in little bowls and a little drink. Sometimes you'll just hear, if you're downstairs, the bottle and the bowls just kind of clink on the side. It means I'm finished. So sometimes at that moment you can have an interaction. It's like, "Oh, do you want refill?" And it just kind of takes away a lot of the conversational pressure and just makes it a little bit more transactional. Because that's just what that should be. And so that's been a little win. Just that little bit of show of independence that, like, I'm hungry, I'm going to get some stuff from the fridge, which it seems like a normal thing for a 14-year-old to perhaps do. And I know also with that sensory seeking thing, I know you have with Frankie, for example, like going to try and find ice lollies in the fridge. And also we have the other opposite end of the scale with Mabel, who will go through ice lollies like it's going out of fashion, have to continually keep the freezer stocked with those all year round as well, which is not surprising. So it's just nice. It's just a nice little win to be that's the case. And also we've been just trying to, after our holiday, offer like some rice, some soy sauce sometimes, and like a burger in a bun with chips. And we'll take that to them. And then we'll come and find that the bowl or the plate is back in the kitchen with sometimes some of the items on, none of the items on, all of the items on. Now, that if that were to happen every day, but we don't give Oscar a meal like that every day, but if that were to happen every day, you might feel like that would be like, oh, that's a waste of money. But actually it's kind of not, because it don't have to put the pressure on for them to have to do things. So yeah, that was nice.
No, I love
And
that.
I think,
Yeah, no, that's great because you're giving them independence of this when they want to eat, and you're getting the satisfaction and you know they're eating.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So one of my wins that came earlier in the week, I might just do mine in chronological order. So having just discussed the challenging moment that led to a picture board or PEX conversation on Monday, was kind of saying to Frank, what should we do? We're doing a bit of a nothing day. And he went to his, not straight away, but in the morning after we got breakfast and got dressed and said, like, what should we do? He actually went over to his picture board and took out the picture for his nan's house. So we walked to his nan's house and went and saw his nan, and his uncle was in as well, which was nice. So that was
activity choosing.
Activity choosing, yeah.
So good.
And that was a few days before the swimming lesson. So yeah, he's definitely starting to interact with his picture board and us. So we have expanded the pictures mostly around like people, so we can tell him who are coming to us. But yeah, we're starting.
You were talking about, it's difficult, isn't it? Because you don't want to run before you can walk with it. But sometimes thinking about, I know you're thinking about like sequencing. So like having Monday through Friday, an image that means school, and then at the weekend, like having either a question mark or, I don't know, a swimming one. But it's difficult because you, as adults, might go, yeah, this is great. We can show school, and then choose time. But actually, that's a lot of processes in between there, And
Yeah.
I think Oscar's only really got to the stage now in the last maybe 3 or 4 years where they've been able to go, oh, okay, so not this day, but the next day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
But it is tempting that when the picture stories work really well, to be like, let's run with this. Let's laminate everything. Every choice needs to be a laminated thing. When actually it's got to work.
Yeah, I did have that thought. I was guilty and I went, no, Dan, don't do it, because also the flip side of that is that we spoke about a little bit over a meal. Me and Amy was, obviously we want him to communicate with us. We want him to tell us what he wants to do, but also we can't give him too many options, because if he goes, all right, I want to do this, be like, that's not actually feasible today, and then that's kind of a backward step in the communication, because he'll look at us like, I told you I wanted to, which is why we had to hide swimming, because the day after our first lesson he just pulled it out and went, that's what, and he went and got his little buoyancy vest thing and was like, this is what I want to do, and I'm like, oh, it's another 4 or 5 days away, they can't do that. So yeah, we are going to increase.
What do you do because I've got an option for what you do in those situations. So what did you do when you put the buoyancy vest on and you were like, we can't do this?
So that was during the time when it was just me soloing with him. So I took pictures, sent it to Amy, go, guess what Frank wants to do today? Or I think Frank's trying to tell me something.
Did you do pretend swimming on the living room floor?
No, I probably should have, actually, thinking about it. I just said, shall we do this instead? And we ended up going in the garden and bouncing, which is obviously an activity that he loves doing.
So it was adult-led activity. Cool.
Yes, I tried to lead him away, and it was hot that day, so I regretted it slightly, but it was the only way. And then I just obviously moved the vest, took the foot, but yeah.
And that all was fine.
On that occasion, it worked. The challenge with Frank's attention is, if he wants to do something and he's adamant, he's like 1,000% yes on this, you have to offer up something pretty damn exciting to get him to focus on the other thing.
And again, don't run before you can walk. But if he's interacting well with the social story choose time things, you can offer 2 binaries that you can offer. So like bounce or, I don't know, trains in the front room. It depends how niche you've got with that. But if you give 2 binaries, 2 binary options, that you can provide. So if you can't do swimming, swimming's away in the thing. And then you can just go, when they come to you with whatever, let's use your example, buoyancy aid, swimming. Oh, not today, but this or this. Now, worst case scenario, Frank goes, or the child goes, no thanks, goes off and makes their own choice. but whatever they choose, you're able to facilitate.
Yeah, nice.
Now, I don't think that's very good to be doing that for absolutely every transition. Maybe some kids need that, but in what you're talking about, it just helps you to remove the anxiety. Now, I know Frank well, and I know lots of other kids well. You can't just go and sneak off to get the to get the two ones that you
That's what I was about to
like.
say.
They'll follow you. But my point is, that is the ideal. If you can do that, then it also makes the things not just something on the fridge or on the wall, you know?
Yeah. And I guess that's why the teachers and the staff at the school have them all connected to their person, like the picture cards.
Or in a bag.
Oh, yeah.
You can have a bag of like if you want to get to do Lucky Dip, anything in this bag.
Oh, nice.
We can definitely do. But yeah, don't.
That's a great tip.
But also, you don't have to always fall back on that. Like, for example, in your scenario, you suggested a different thing just by walking and going and physically doing a thing, and then Frankie joined you. So it doesn't have to be like, oh no, this is challenging for me, let's get the cards out. It just has to work. But I'm glad to hear that, mate. Glad to hear that.
So yeah, that was my early week win.
Early win. I've definitely got another win, and I'm sure you have too. So how about we pop back on the other side of these messages so that we can do some more wins. Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at NeuroDADverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves. Welcome back to the NeuroDADverse, where we talk all things neurosparkly and neurospicy about our neurodivergent children. Before the break, we were talking about our wins because we had quite good weeks. And I would suggest to you that we're going to continue that and then maybe do some look ahead to the week ahead for you all. So, Dan, you were talking a little bit before about some really good communication wins. What else was going on for you this week, my friend?
So I'll share two more wins. One's a small one and one's kind of a longer tail because there was multiple things happening on a day. Starting with the smaller one. So my 3 words were stroll, say, and show. So I've already had a little bit of the show. I've had the 2 sort of shows with the challenge and the previous win, showing us what you wanted to do. The next part of the show is me and Amy were having Mexican for dinner. I can't remember what night it was. I think it might have been Friday night. And we were having homemade fajitas, something we have semi-regularly. Frankie, we sit at the table. Frankie's watching TV/playing in the living room, and he'll come in every sort of 10-15 minutes just to see what we're eating, see if he wants to try anything and just make sure.
I love that that's how you communicate that, Dan.
What?
I love that that's how you communicate what that is.
What?
It's very possible that Frank's just coming in going, are they finished yet?
He's always on the scope for food.
Yeah, of course. That's true. That's true. Yeah, I just like that you immediately thought, I wondered if you thought he'd come and join us for dinner. But actually, he might just be thinking, are you done yet?
And
I like it.
Yeah. Sometimes he shouts because he wants us to change what's on the telly.
Both things can be true, right?
Yeah, we need that on a t-shirt, don't we? Both things can be true. So on this occasion, he has started to, but he did actually come and put out a chair next to me, sat down next to me, and pulled my plate across to him. And I went, oh, here we go. So I literally just put a fajita wrap on my plate. He then went to. We have like the little 4-pot dips that you can buy in the supermarkets. Yeah. We have a spoon for each of them because that's how Amy likes to do it. That's fair.
Yep.
He then picked up one of the spoons and started actually making me a fajita. So he got the cheese, the guacamole, the salsa, and then I was like, and Amy started to film it. I was like, can Daddy have cheese? And then he was like, I opened the lid for the cheese part, and he was like, 3 chunks of cheese, had to place them over the thing because over the sauce, so nothing was wet. And I was like, can I have some cucumber? And yeah, he basically did everything apart from the fajita mix, which was hot and on the other side of the table. Yeah. And that is just a spontaneous, he's like, I know what we're doing. And going back to your earlier point, he might be like, for God's sake, hurry up. We've got important things to do in the next room. So I'm just going to I'm just going to make your food for you. So that was just a
Yeah.
really,
But
really
it
nice
doesn't
moment.
matter. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just showed dexterity, showed like he has paid
Absolutely.
attention. So yeah, that was just a nice moment.
And some understanding of like, I mean, you were probably using some visual cues as well, but that like what cheese is and what the cucumber is, whatever.
Mm.
Well, that's great. And also, isn't it interesting that in another scenario, a different family with a different child having that interaction, the thing would then be like, oh, and now you try it. But actually, as soon as that started happening, that wasn't your thing at all. What's the word? I don't mean thing. That wasn't your aim at all. Your aim was like, this is nice that this is happening. A little bit of an opportunity moment for a communication. So great.
It was nice.
It's just so great.
Yeah, it was just lovely. Like he's made me his first. That's the first sandwich-esque food that Frank has made me.
Yep.
So yeah. What about you, sir? What's your big win?
Well, I said about needles and acceptance. The needles is actually a win. Mabel
Okay.
went and got a belly button piercing on this week.
Okay.
And it's a win largely because she went with her mum to do that. Her mum's very well versed, got lots like ear piercings and has experience of piercings herself. And so it was good that they had that time together. But also, if you have a piercing, you have to be quite fastidious with the aftercare.
Right.
And the cleaning. And thinking about what that would take and having consistency for Mabel is not necessarily something that she's super great at. But she has been. She's kept it well. There's not any redness, not any soreness. She's managed to keep it well. She's really pleased and happy with it. And it's a bit of jewelry that she really likes. And she thinks it's really cute. And she's cared about it. Now, yeah, that's just a nice little win that she went and had that done. The acceptance was a little bit about us winning, just like, okay, you're in your room and you want to run your own time and you're going to go out and Mabel's going to go out. So different, just accepting that they're different. Oh, hang on. We've got a visitor. I wonder who's going to walk through the door.
This week on Who's at the Door?
It's Laura.
Hey, Laura.
This week on the NeuroDADverse. Hello, do you want some headphones?
No, I just wanted to update you on Oscar's bath time.
Oh.
This is a
Bath
segment
time's
out of
back, everyone.
retirement. Yeah.
Hold on. We're bringing it back out of retirement.
I used the shower gel scrub from Turkey. I didn't realise it was quite so abrasive. There might be some marks as I was scrubbing their back. Mommy, it burns!
Oh, I see. So, welcome to... Hello.
I was like, Tim, it doesn't, you're fine!
Okay. So many follow-up questions.
Should we not put this on the actual live thing?
Fine.
No,
was
we're
just talking
actually
about
live
how
on
good it was
YouTube right
that
now.
Mabel had kept her belly button piercing all nice and like clean because of consistency, and it was really nice that you went and had that scenario. Quick question follow up: did you know it was the scrub one, or did you pick any one that was?
I knew it was a scrub one. Yeah,
Right.
no, it was intentional.
You
They need
during
to be
it's
clean.
just a question, yeah. But you during a bath time used a new unfamiliar bath wash scenario, right?
They didn't mind.
Mummy, they
They
didn't
do
mind,
now.
except
They
did
do now.
scream out, "Mummy, it burns." Is it a win of the? Can I smuggle a win out of the challenge? I guess they are clean.
Like using a scouring pad.
You used a scouring
No,
pad.
I didn't use a
Oh,
scouring
sorry.
pad.
It was like using a scouring pad. Okay. Goodbye, Laura.
The Turkish put very hard granules in their shower gel.
Okay. Laura, just if you didn't hear that last little bit, Laura qualified. The reason why she'd used that was that in Turkey they put hard granules in their shower scrubs.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes. So, and just for clarity, if you listen to this for the first time, Turkey was the destination where we went on holiday this year. So we brought back some shower gel stuff to buy some stuff out there. It was not like we weirdly exclusively go and buy Turkish shower gel from supplier. Where was
But if anyone
I?
wants to sponsor
yeah,
our podcast, I'm suppose we'll be open to that. Yeah.
yes. Yeah, although I think if they were going to do that, they'd be like, we need the salesperson in. How often can Laura come on the podcast? It's like, not as often as the listeners would perhaps like.
But she can certainly voice the ads. There we go. Anyway, back in the room.
Yes. I guess in terms of record time, we might need to speed this up a little bit now. So yeah, just a bit more of the acceptance tag. We've done some planning this week of when I'm going to see like my dad and my mum and some stuff like that, when the kids go to see them and stuff. And yeah, just my dad had told us where we were going to go and said that he'd spoken to the pub that does food and had said, like, don't worry, it's close to where we're staying, and I've spoken to them about Oscar, and they said there's lots of nice quiet corners that he can go to if they need to.
Amazing.
And I was just like, do you know what? You just know your grandchild, don't you? You just know them, and you know that might be an issue. So when you're looking at a new place to go, you've just had that thought in your head, and that was great. And also my mum too wanted to make sure she got her new internet box sorted so that when Oscar was over there, it wasn't interrupted for them, and then they could watch some Amazing Digital Circus with her and go through that. So it's just, yeah, I think I said it's just nice that people have known them, like just the acceptance, because I know that's not true for everyone, and I think there is. We're not going to go down this rabbit hole, but prevailing media narratives at the moment about whether the very existence of these mental health conditions and neurodivergencies even exists at all. So it's lovely I feel very privileged to be in that scenario with both of my parents, that they're just like, I wouldn't say like they would understand the whole thing, but they know that kids' needs. It doesn't, it's good. And Outfits is the other one. And sorry to shamelessly plug, but Outfits is a Hands Up song. If you're new to this or you don't know, Hands Up is a band that I'm in. It's like a pop punk melodic band. All the lyrics, the things that the kids have said over the years, and I've written down and made songs. It's a lot of fun. We enjoy doing it.
You're awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate you. And we had a gig on Saturday evening.
Oh, I thought it was next week coming. Sorry. Yes, please tell me.
And we went to, and so there's free buses around where we are at the moment. So Mabel met up with her friends and got the free buses over there. And I said, well, you could sing a song. We did it before, and we went to play in the local HMV, which was silly and fun. And this was like a little small venue, sort of all ages thing. So her friends turned up, and we'd practiced like her singing one of the songs before. She'd done a cover, but she'd never sung a Hands Up song for her, and she did go on and sing a Hands Up song. Interestingly, it's the one that when she was having some primary school bullying troubles, she said some stuff about what had happened on those days, and also she had pointed out some things about this particular kid at like a party of some sort, and about how they'd like dressed up, or their parents, it was like when primary school, so how their parents had dressed them in an outfit that like looked like it was for a certain style of music, like a rock outfit. And Mabel said to me, she's got something along the lines of, she's got look at that outfit, she doesn't even like this song. And I was like, oh, that sounds like a chorus. So we just stupidly write all this stuff down. So so the stuff is a little bit like how sad she was. Like, I just remember her being really sad and saying some stuff about she didn't want to do things anymore. So she went and sang that song on her own with the band. I went and stood in the audience. And yeah, it's just nice because like doing the band over a lot of time has been a lot of therapy for me, if I'm honest, because it's like I get to take all of the things the kids have said and put it into something creative, and when that's difficult for them, and obviously now they're at an age where we can talk about that, and yeah, she did it. Yeah, so that's really nice. It's a lovely little win. yeah, had a lovely time with that, and her friends were there supporting her as well.
That's
And her
amazing.
friends stayed over. It's just, yeah, it was good. It was really, really rad. Really
That's
had a
amazing.
lovely time. Yeah, not bad at all. Yeah, cool. Have you got anything else you want to talk about,
I
Readiness?
just wanted to cover my 2 words because I've done show, but stroll and say.
Oh yeah, go on.
So it was Sunday, I think. No, was it? Yes. So because we're recording Monday evening, so yesterday, we went for a walk. We didn't really have any plans. It was just kind of a family, let's see what's gonna happen kind of day. And we'd had a stroll earlier in the week after the swimming, as I mentioned, and that went quite well. So I said, why don't we just... we wanted to try and see if we could attempt and walk in the local woods near us, because I used to do that an awful lot when it was just me and Frankie when he was younger.
Sure.
But since sensory, sometimes the sound of trees just seems to throw him off. So anyway, we said we're going for a walk and we're basically going to follow you. We saddled up, we got some supplies, and we were just going to go. We ended up walking in total probably about 3.5 miles, possibly 4.
Wow.
It was about 16,000 steps.
Did you say
for
you were in
us.
woods and stuff?
So we started out by heading towards the local woods, and inside the local woods there is also a play park, which Frankie does sort of know how to get there. And although we hadn't been there for a while, he did sort of pilot us towards the park. When we got there, though, he didn't actually want to go in the park. He just walked straight past the park and started walking, and it's not too far from his school. It's just the other side of the train line. So we ended up walking down the main road, crossing the road. I was like, okay, where are we going? Took us down some close that I've never been. I was like, I've not even been down here, and I've lived around here pretty much all my life. And what he did was he took us to the railway track, literally about 400-500 meters further up from where his school is. And he just wanted to watch the trains go past. And I said, why don't we go to a bridge? So there's a bridge a couple hundred meters the other direction. Why don't we go to the bridge and watch that? And he wasn't really vibing that. He just wanted to walk along the track. So we ended up walking we walked from our house to the train station is 2 stops away from where we live technically. We then walked all the way back towards the nearest train station, where we then watched trains. Before we got to the train station, I'm going to try and summarize this quite quickly because I don't want to waffle on too much, because I know I can. Amy went, it was hot. Amy went in to get a drink. And the reason I say is, while I was outside, when Frankie turned around and saw Amy wasn't there, I said, Mummy in shop getting drink. He then started putting his hand out and doing his kind of calling sound that he makes. And after about 3 or 4 minutes, went, Mummy is coming, just getting drink. I could have swore he said mum, but I couldn't be 100% sure, but it's probably the closest to saying the word mum that you can without saying the word mum. And I was like, that was just nice, because it took a few minutes, but he's like, Mum, where are you? And then she appeared, and that was lovely. We then walked to the train station, which he then loved. We kept walking across the bridge to different sides to watch the trains come in. But then we got to the point where we've been out now for a couple of hours. It's been hot. We did have a bit of his picnic on the platform, but we decided that we needed to try and get away, because we knew that once we're at a station, we'd basically find it impossible to leave. So we showed him a picture of my mum and dad and said, go nanny granddad's. And he got up off the floor, because obviously he was trying to tell us he didn't want to leave by sitting on the floor and shouting at us in Frankie language. We showed him the picture, and he just went, okay, stood up, and then walked from the station to my mum and dad's house, obviously with us, keeping him safe. And then we spent a few hours there, and it was just like, this is a lot. We went for a walk. We've covered a lot of ground. We saw some trains. We showed a picture. We went to Nanny and Granddad's. He had some food, a little bit of food there, chatted to them for a bit, and then we got dropped home. And we got home, and it was like 3:30, and we're like tired, because like we've done a lot. We've done a lot in like these 4 or 5 hours, and that was just a win, because we didn't think that would be a thing, but it would turn out to be quite a success. So we might try that again at some point. But yeah, here are the words. So the say, the show, and all on the stroll. It was good.
So good. Nice. As you were talking there, I was just thinking, also, because you kind of think, oh, this has been nice, but now they've sat stubbornly on the floor.
For a good 10 minutes,
And
yeah.
now this transition is awful.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how nice this walk was and how nice I almost heard you say, Mum, this is the thing that dominates. But it didn't dominate like that. So yeah, I like that turns around. It's good. It's good. Right, cool. Should we have a think about looking ahead to the week ahead, the last week of the summer holidays? It's look ahead to the week ahead.
So summer week 6 for the
Indeed.
ICOTs is thus Monday. He's got his holiday send club that he goes to without us. He's picked up another day there, so that should be good. That's our last day without Amy. From Tuesday onwards, Amy's off until he goes back to school, which is lovely. And we're kicking that off with a trip with the local Autism Society club, group, region, whatever they are called. We're going to a miniature railway in a nearby like local heritage site near us, so that should be cool. Wednesday hosting a play date. Thursday hopefully swimming, depending on that. And then at the weekend, Frankie and Amy are going to our friends that we've already stayed with for the weekend, and I'm going up to stay at a friend's overnight to go and see a couple of my friends. So quite a busy week when I'm reading that back. That's actually quite a busy week just before we go back to school. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. We have Oscar wants to go to get some school supplies, which is something that came up yesterday, and we were like, wow, okay, so Laura's going to go do that, and I'm going to meet them tomorrow in the afternoon to go to see the Odyssey. Oscar's interested in seeing that.
Amazing.
They did a project last year, not last school, the school year before, maybe. Yes, so last time. And they like all of those myths and legends, and they seem to know a lot about it. So they're interested to go see that. So 100%.
Amazing.
Why not?
So is the school kit stuff surprising, because normally that isn't something they would like to do, or just acknowledging that school is coming?
I made the choice to start seeding in. We can't be asleep all day and awake all night, Oscar.
Fine.
The way I did that, as I said, Oscar came down at about 10:30. I was tidying stuff up yesterday and just like put their hand on the switch. And I said, I can't play now. Too late for me. I go to sleep. I didn't break my language down like that as much, but sometimes I do. And I said, look, you have been being awake in the nighttime and sleep in the day. And that's okay in summer. But when we go back to school, need to change. So maybe we can play tomorrow if you stay up, like trying to just seed that in. Or sorry, maybe we can play tomorrow if you're up in time. Okay. And then turned around and said, when is that? When I went back to school? It's this time next week. And I said, yes. They happen to go back on a Wednesday, not on Monday, but
I'm
not going to die on that hill of detail just for that. I'll put it on the calendar anyway. They walked round the corner and said, Mum, I need bag, shoes, something else. And then Laura said, okay, we can do that. Not tomorrow, but Tuesday. She's working like this half shift. And he said, okay. And then I texted and said, I want to see Odyssey. Yes. And so that's the plan tomorrow. So that is good. It's surprising because we haven't spoken about school all summer, and they've been having some problems, as regular listeners will know, with attendance and some emotional based school avoidance and all of those bits. So that is that. We'll go out for lunch with my dad on Wednesday at this pub that he's found. A couple of free days, so we will smuggle in some watching of stuff on Thursday and Friday, but not with Mabel, because Mabel has film studies coursework to go and shoot, so she's going to go and do that.
Ooh.
It's already my challenge of the week, Dan, because I just have to be completely hands off about it.
Because you don't want to be teacher, dad. You just want to be dad. Yeah.
Do you remember do you remember any coursework that you did, or some of the first stuff that you filmed?
Yeah.
You just learn a load of stuff. So yeah,
I actually use that sometimes in some of my talks. I'm like, look, this is what I made when I was your age. Like, you get better, don't worry. So
yeah,
no,
I always use oh god, I always, before we show coursework, I always show that I've forgotten what it's called. It's the Edgar Wright sixth form thing that he made. It's like a fistful of.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that.
Oh yeah, it's just like a trashy, well shot, but
is it martial arts?
Acted. No. It's like a Western thing.
Oh, Western. Okay. Oh, okay. I'll have to Google.
I think it might be called I don't know. Anyway, it's not very good, but it would be very, very good coursework. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
So I show that, and the students all think. I say, I give them 3 options. Do you think that was made by a professional filmmaker, someone who's like a teacher who also dabbles in film production, or a student? Most of them always vote students. Some of them vote someone else because they think I made it. And then I flash up like the Cornetto trilogy and Baby Driver, and I'm like, this is that director. So yeah. So that will be fun. Because she's got to go and do her work. I don't help her with any other home school work, so I can't help her with this. She'll want my approval though, so we'll see how that goes. And I'm obviously going to be like, did you do it today? Yeah. So
cheeky action role for you? Cheeky cameo?
Nah.
Okay.
I don't want to be anywhere near this. I don't want to be anywhere near this.
Okay.
I mean, she's already looking to be in a band, and I just can't stop looking to try and make like band logos and stuff. I'm just like super invested in it. But she's too effortlessly cool for that. No, she has to go run her own race. Goodness me.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, well, she wants my approval, but I'll talk to her when she's done. Give her some feedback if she wants. If she doesn't want from her teachers or whatever. And then Mabel, I know Laura and Mabel are having haircuts. I'm going away at the weekend. I'm going to London on the Sunday. Yeah, don't know. Don't seem much more going on there. Yeah, it'll be all right. A bit more adapting. So yeah, looking forward to a fun week ahead. Right, cool. That brings us to a point where I can just say thank you so much for listening to this podcast. When you're listening to this, you'll probably, if you're listening to on release time, you'll probably be gearing up for a new term of school to start at some point in the following week if you have kids. And it's important to know, I was just talking before we came on to Dan, it's important to remember you haven't spent the whole summertime gearing up to make sure it's excellent on day one. Transitions will take a lot longer time for all kids, especially those neurodivergent ones. So just allow that that's going to be the case. There's enough to concern yourself with your child's needs to not necessarily get it right on the first time. And also, what's right for your kids is not necessarily right for the way the whole system works. That doesn't make it easy, but you can just have that acceptance that the first term is about getting things organized and sorted, and however long that takes your kid in the kindest way is the most important thing. So take that into your week. We'll obviously be back with another pod about our last week, and then we'll get into term time our stuff. We'll get into our stuff further into the term time is what I was trying to say. But yeah, we massively appreciate everyone listening. Please get in touch and tell us things that you like. If you want to listen to our 1 year anniversary or watch our 1 year anniversary pod, you can do that. It's a slightly different format, Q&A, and we were live in 3D doing high fives.
And fist bumps.
I've forgotten some things. Oh, and a fist bump. I've forgotten some things, 3 things specifically. Here's Dan to tell you what those are.
So everyone's welcome here in the NeuroDADverse, and what we'd like to tell you when you are here in the NeuroDADverse with us is that you are doing great, you are enough, and you are certainly not alone. Please, when you're weak, good energy.
Good energy. That's about it for the NeuroDADverse. We'll be back next week.
If you laughed, cried, or nodded in tired agreement, don't forget to follow us and leave a review. It helps more parents find us.
Just remember, you're doing great.
You are enough, and you are definitely not alone.
Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at neurodadverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves.